Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I told you on my last video that I was going to explain how to do your budget, and that is what I'm going to do today. So I am part of the partial government shutdown, so my last paycheck will be tomorrow. So I had to redo my budget. So I'm going to walk you through how I did my budget. But let me tell you a few things about what you need to know about your budget. First of all, you have to be focused and you have to be disciplined, and you have to make sure that you know your numbers. You have to know what all your bills equal up to monthly. Expenses are going to be, for example, your rent or mortgage, your car payment, your car insurance, utility bills, life insurance, health insurance, anything that comes out of your account monthly that you have to pay, that is considered expenses. Then I have the cash envelopes. The cash envelopes, and everybody doesn't do cash envelopes, but I do because I like the way that it makes me accountable for my money. So in my cash envelopes, those are my grocery, my miscellaneous, my gas money, my lunch money, household needs, different things like that. I used to have a curl kit. I would consider that a cash envelope, even though it does come directly out of my account, because it is a want and not a necessity. So that's what I mean by cash envelopes and bills. Now, the third category that I use is my sinking funds. In my sinking funds, I have things like home repair, IRS. I owe the IRS some money, so that's a sinking fund. Car maintenance, and that could be anything from your car tags to oil changes to say you need a transmission or something like that. That is a sinking fund. I also put my emergency fund and my savings in my sinking fund because those are things that I don't want to spend out of. That's just in case of an emergency, so I want those to build up. So first of all, you need to make sure that you have every expense listed down each month. You want to know how much your expenses are a month. So you will add up all your expenses and you will get your total. Then you will take your income for the month, and that is all checks. So with my household, everything comes out the same bucket. All of me and my husband's accounts are joint accounts, so everything goes into the same bucket. His checks, my checks, everything goes into the same bucket. So you will need to know your total income for the month. The next thing you will do, you will take your total income and then you will subtract your expenses from your total income. And what's left from that is what you can use to divide by your cash envelopes and your sinking funds. The way I do mine is my next important bucket would be my cash envelopes, my groceries, things like that. So I figure out how much I have to spend for the month in each category, and I add that up, and that's a total. Then I subtract that from the money that was left over from my expenses, and that'll give you another balance. With that balance, you can divide it between your sinking funds to decide, and that's up to you how you do it, what is more priority. For me, my priorities are my emergency fund, my savings, and my IRS bill. Now, the rest of the envelopes will get something in them, but it won't be a large amount. The largest amount will go into my emergency fund until it's totally funded, into my savings, and also into my IRS so that I can pay that off. In my sinking funds, I also have bills that I am trying to save up to pay that bill off. So it's sort of like a debt payoff, like a snowball effect. You put so much in, and at the end of the month, you pay that amount toward the bill on top of what you pay toward that bill every month. So that is what I mean by sinking funds. You're trying to pay off bills as quick as possible. That is how I do my expenses, and I do it by the month. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because we do go over this. I do have my monthly budgets and I do have weekly budgets, and I will link some of these up here in this corner up here. But when I say monthly expenses, January's is not correct because I'm going to have to redo January's, but this is what I mean by monthly expenses. If you look at this, I have all of my bills here, and then I break it down to my income, and I take this expenses and I subtract it from the income here, and that gives me the remaining balance. So this is my expense spreadsheet, and this is what my cash envelopes and my sinking funds look like. These are all of my cash envelopes. As you can tell, I have grocery, lunch money, eating out, personal money, money that I put aside for my mom and my mother-in-law, miscellaneous household, and clothing budget. Those are all added up, and I do a mental note on the side. I subtract these from what is left over from my bills, and that's how I know what to come up with on my sinking funds. So in my sinking fund categories, I have emergency fund, medical, IRS, birthdays, the car tag and maintenance, home repair, a mattress that we're trying to get, and travel. So you will see the biggest of the money going into my emergency fund, my savings, my IRS, and birthdays, because I do have quite a few birthdays coming up here soon. So that will give me a total here. And then down here, I will take what's left from my bills, subtract my cash envelopes, and then I will subtract my sinking funds, and that will give me the remaining balance, which should equal up to zero, because I always do mine on a zero-based budget. If I have anything left, which right here I have $5 left, so I put it into savings to give me a zero balance. January is going to change because I will not be getting my last check for this month. Tomorrow is Friday the 11th, and that will be my last check for the month. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you how I adjusted the rest of my bills for the month to make them work so that I can get them paid and not have to worry about not being able to pay bills. Okay guys, hopefully you see this pretty good. The bills I have left are Google Fiber, which is $282.13. Car insurance, which is $197.66. Phone bill, which is $488.59. And the reason why this is so high is because, and someone asked me about this, we have 4 phones on our phone bill. Each one of them we are making payments on, and plus we have insurance on them. For car payment, $369.89. QVC, $54.50, and we will be through with this in March. My alarm system, $44.99. Gym fee, this is my mom's gym fee, which is $20. Amazon Prime, $14.03. Netflix, $10.99. Alone, $127. Best Buy, $175. And I will be through with this next month. Homeowner's warranty, $60.66. And life insurance, which is $51.66. Which comes up to a total of $1897.10. For cash envelopes, I have groceries at $150, lunch at $120, gas at $120, and eating out at $130. For the total income for the rest of the month will be $2609.26. So here's how I broke that down based on the way our checks will be coming in. For the first check, for my check, which is tomorrow, I will be paying Google Fiber, car insurance, and Best Buy, which comes up to $654.79. For cash envelopes, I put the groceries at $75, lunch at $60. That's for my husband. I will not be giving myself any money. Gas, $60, $50 for my husband, and $10 for me just in case. $65 for eating out. That comes up to $260. So for the income, $974.73. minus the expenses of $654.99, minus the cash envelopes of $260, that leaves $59.93, which will stay in the account and it will be rolled over to go toward next month's bill. So for our check from January the 18th to the 24th, I had to put all the other bills in there. The phone bill, $500, which I bumped that up. It's $488.59, but I bumped it up for $500 just to have a cushion. Car payment, $369.89. Loan, $127. Homeowner's warranty, $60.66. Life insurance, $51.66. QVC, $54.50. Our alarm system, $44.99. Gym, $20. Amazon Prime, $14.03. Netflix, $10.99, which came up to $1,258.72. For our cash envelopes, I gave grocery $75, lunch $60, gas $60, and eating out $65, which came up to $260. If you look at our total budget, our income will be estimated at $1,634.54 minus the $1,258.72 for the expenses, and minus the $260 for the cash envelopes. That will leave $115.82. Some of this will be used for cash envelopes for next week, groceries, gas, and lunch money. And I do have some emergency money left over. We'll not be receiving a check on January the 25th and January the 30th. Our next check will be on January the 31st. And that will go toward February. So guys, that's how I redid my budget to make it work for me. And I hope you understand how the budget works. First, you have to figure out all your bills to see how much money you have to come up with for your bills. Then you will figure out your total income for the month. You will subtract your bills from your total income. Once you do that, then you do your cash envelopes, and then you do your sinking fund. Now, the way I break it down is by each check. We were getting a check each week, which meant we got sometimes 5 checks a month. So my first check, for example, anything that was due within that week's time is what I put to come out of that check. If I had extra money after I did my cash envelopes and my sinking fund, I would pay another bill early. The second week, I would see everything that was coming out of that check, and I would pay all of those bills, my cash envelopes and my sinking fund. And then I would, if I had extra money, I would either roll it over to the next check if I had more bills than what money was coming out, or I would pay an extra bill off. I hope this helps you understand. You can always take the extra money that you have and put into the next week, or pay off a bill early so that you don't have to worry about not having enough for that bill. So one of our checks was lower than the other. So with the lower check, I tried to pay the smallest bills. If there was no bills due in that week, I would try and pay the smallest bills to get them paid and out the way. I try and pay my bills on time so that I do not have any kind of late fee. That's not always possible. So what I do is I have bills that come directly out my account, which are set up for auto draft, that cannot be moved around. But then you have bills that can be moved around. Like for me, for example, my car payment does not come directly out of my check. My mortgage does not come directly out of my check. My utility bill does not come directly out of my check. My loan and Best Buy does not come directly out of my check. So if I need to move any of those around, I will. And with my mortgage, I will never move it further than it needs to be. If I can't pay it out of that first check, I will move it to that second check to make sure that I do not get the late fee. I will not move it past that second check, because if I move it past that second check, then I'm going to incur a late fee, which defeats the purpose of me trying to pay my bills off. Now, there has been some times where I've had to move it, where I've had no choice, and I did have a late fee. But yeah, it can be done. So if you have to move your bills around, see if you can play with that and get your bills where you can get them paid on time and in full, so that you do not get a late charge. I hope this makes sense. So guys, for right now, I don't know about next month as far as February is concerned. I'm going to play around with the budget. I'm going to have to cut a lot of stuff because I don't know at this point if we're eligible for unemployment. I don't know when our next check is going to come. Meantime, I am looking for another job because I am over this threat of government shutdown, this government shutdown. I'm over the government, period. I hope you understand the budget a little bit better, how you have to come up with it, but please keep in mind, you will fail a couple of times. I fail. I still fail. I am not perfect, and there are some slip-ups that will come. Don't get discouraged. Just make sure that you get back on track and try and focus. And the reason why I do cash envelopes is because I put the money in the cash envelopes. Once it's gone, it's gone. If I need to, I will take money from eating out and put in with the grocery money, but I will never take money from grocery money and put in with the eating out money, if that makes sense. Groceries to me are a priority. Eating out is not, and it works for me, and I love it. But please make it fun. Decorate if you want to, just to make your planner visual so that you will want to go in and plan in it. If you have any questions, leave them below. That's all, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.